It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
It's a true story to when I stopped drinking.
Okay.
So I wasn't playing as the season started.
Yeah.
So I needed to give up something.
Yeah.
I got to sacrifice something, and I actually did two things that I very love, and that is drinking wine and my chocolate chip cookies for dessert. I completely took it out.
LeBron James on what he's given up in his diet. He's in his 40s, trying to stay on track.
Well, yeah, to be an NBA player.
Right, yeah.
He takes a lot of people don't like him and all.
Yep.
But then there's plenty of times he shows himself as just another guy.
True story.
And
it's a mixed bag.
Yeah,
and that's one of them
like
right there. Chocolate chip
like
cookies.
This guy down the street.
Who hasn't been there.
And then you see him when he was in Miami. Guy hits a pudgy, fat white dude, hits a half-court shot. LeBron tackles him, because he won a car or whatever
he did. Yeah.
And then you see him when that one kid hit the home run. I think it was Davis for Cleveland against the Cubs. He's in the box celebrating wildly, just like Joe Fan down the street.
The parts are really relatable, but there are people, he's been outspoken politically, so that's going to irritate some people. And he's won a lot, so there's going to be some jealousy. And let's be honest, he and Rich Paul figured out how to leverage his/their power, and they've tampered. And he carries weight within the NBA, and all those things give him a chance to offend a different group of people. But you're right, then you have all these other things, like he celebrates a baseball win like 50 other thousand people in the ballpark, and he skips chocolate chip cookies. The one thing he is not, he just doesn't seem to be aloof. He just doesn't seem to be, that's why he can be such a regular guy, is he's not aloof and above it all.
Wait. You're taking a shot at me.
No.
Because I'm aloof. I see what you did.
Aloof isn't accurate. Aloof isn't accurate for you. You're a whole... There's no one word that captures what you are.
Oh,
You're a paragraph, baby.
I'm a paragraph?
You're a little on the shy side. You're a little sensitive.
I'm a punctuation mark.
You're a little focused. You're a little intense.
As long as I have a little bit of Monica by my side.
Okay, there it is. Laker Governor Jeannie Buss explained the 2025 decision to sell the Buss family majority stake in the team to Mark Walter, adding her late father, Jerry Buss, would have been supportive at the move to sell 50% of their 66% stake in the team. What was important to him was the Lakers stay at the top of the NBA, and stay at the top of the NBA, you need to have the resources. You need to have everybody pulling together, and he'd want that for the Lakers because the Lakers are his legacy. Is Mark Walter going to do for the Lakers what he's done for the Dodgers? Because there's no cap. It's a different beast. Because if he has, then I could see. I think it's way more complicated than that. But I can see your point. That part of it, her dad would definitely still want the Lakers to be the big dog.
Well, of course, Larry Miller wants the Jazz
legacy
to be.
Yeah,
I mean. Jerry Colangelo owned the Suns for a while. He would want that. Yeah, we understand
so
that.
So is Walter going to be able to pull that off?
Well, I think it's much harder because of financial restrictions, and there's only 10 players that can really, really make a difference, and they're all not going to play on the same team. The Dodgers can get so many of them, and then combine with the Japanese market now, they get one, and then they get two pitchers who make a big difference.
Yeah.
And they're Japanese, and they're going to go play with where their countryman is, and there obviously is a connection there. There's a lot of Asian folk, Japanese in the LA area. You don't have that as much in basketball. I think it's, even without a financial guideline or cap or whatever, I still think it would be harder. Because we saw in basketball for a while, just putting a dream team, an Olympic team together 2 weeks before, it's where you can kind of do that easier in baseball. Throw a lineup there, and if you got 7 guys who are really, really good, they'll find a way to mesh. It's easier to do it.
Yeah. The double play combination has to mesh. Outfielders have to call each other off. But it's one-on-one, pitcher versus batter.
And you got 6 weeks of spring training to figure it out. where you work about an hour and a half a day.
If that. Classic. The Jazz have announced that Jaren Jackson Jr. underwent successful surgery to remove a growth in his left knee. The team said he'd be reevaluated in 4 weeks, and he is out for the season.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew that, didn't we?
Yeah, it's official now. And Mark Cuban. We talked about this in some of the show yesterday. Him sticking up for tanking. NBA should embrace tanking because it's about going to the games about the experience. It's about having hope. He says they can't remember the dunks or shots. What they remember is who they were with, their family, friends, a date. That's what makes the experience special. The worst bleep that the NBA dishes out is if you don't lie to your fans about what you're doing, even though it's obvious to them, you get fined, and they threaten you with losing picks. And Jazz fans look at Mark Cuban nodding. The last part especially, yes.
Well, I think that to a degree, you can't become a joke. And I covered the Clippers in the 80s and early 90s, and they were a joke. Mm-hmm. Mike Smith can talk about that. He was broadcaster. And so with that in mind, I think that what the Jazz have done has been painful, but the trade combined with a potential top 5 pick this June will set this place alive again, and you'll be out of it. And it is a way. And I saw this idea of not having a draft. Okay, MLB didn't have a draft, I think, until like 65, 66. You know who the first draft pick was?
I do. I can't remember who it is, but it's somebody famous. Was it Bill Buckner?
No.
No, Rick Monday.
Rick Monday.
Yes, Rick Monday.
You know where Rick Monday plays his college ball?
Arizona State.
Absolutely. And so somebody said, well, yeah, they didn't have a draft, and the Yankees won more than half the World Series.
Careful what you wish for.
Right.
All right, DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
That would be a great atmosphere if they were still undefeated. The fact they've lost to, it doesn't matter. Bottom line is it's not like, oh, we're going to play extra hard because we've lost. Once you play the game, you got to execute the game plan. So every team needs wins this time of year, especially in our league. The standings are tight. Everyone's playing for something. So I've never bought into I say it to my guys all the time. I wake up motivated. And so I don't need extra motivation. I'm sure they don't either. We're hungry. They're hungry. It's going to be a good ball game.
There's head coach of the BYU Cougars, Kevin Young, talking about 23rd ranked Cougars going to Arizona to face the 4th ranked Wildcats tonight. Arizona trying to win the regular season title there. BYU, I guess they're playing for seeding in the conference tournament. They're not going to be in the top 4, it wouldn't seem, but maybe in the next 4. Get a bye through the first day.
Well, I think we saw an opportunity just very last night. College basketball is the most volatile, unpredictable sport of the major sports we have. I've been saying that for years based on experience for covering it for years at the front row as a beat writer, and then most especially out on the road. And I'm obviously the Cougars are the road team tonight, but they still have 2 home games against ranked teams. And look at last night. Last night was the classic example. Nebraska goes to unranked Iowa, loses. Texas Tech goes to unranked Arizona State, loses. Toppin got hurt in that second half too, their premier player. And so we'll see, along with the Flemings kids, so we'll see what happens there. North Carolina, now of course they have an injury to Wilson. They go across up the road a little bit to NC State, get worked. St. Louis, ranked, goes to Rhode Island, loses. Louisville goes to SMU, loses. Stop me if you are not catching a point, and I will illustrate it even more, because I've got one more. I'm not even done yet.
Do it.
Wisconsin goes to Ohio State and gets worked 86-69. There's like 6 road-ranked teams last night go and lose. So there is a ton of hope for the Cougars. Probably, maybe, I wouldn't bet tonight for sure. But Cole Pete isn't playing, and then they got another rotation guy who's out. So they're not at full strength either. And then there's the fickle nature of hitting shots versus not hitting shots. So, sure, expectations maybe have been reset. Not by Kevin Young. He ain't resetting them. I understand that, at least not publicly. But by far, all is not lost for these guys.
What those half dozen games had in common there is ranked team goes on road and loses to conference opponent.
Well, it's what I just said, but
BYU is on the road tonight, which is why not to put the hope there, but they do have 2 ranked teams who'll be on the road coming into the Marriott Center.
I said.
So why not have the hope? Why not?
You have to. Yeah. I've got it. I've got it for them.
Home is where the wins are. Rick Majerus a long time ago.
And it becomes imperative that they get at least one, if not both of those. And we'll see what happens to Toppin, because that's only at the end of next week, basically, with Texas, 2 weeks for Texas Tech. We'll see what his injury is. I have no idea of the severity of it. I just know I didn't watch the game, but I saw that they said he went out in the second half.
He ended up with 20 points, played his 32 minutes, but to your point, if it sidelines him a week, that's big news for BYU. That's all it would take.
And
Mick Cronin, did you see him snapping at people after the game and sending his own player to the locker room?
He's going nuts.
He is.
What was done from the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant overall the way that you
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
All right,
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of the...
You really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't.
student
I don't
section?
think you care about the other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm just.
Yeah, you are. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody, this is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
Well, actually, I think you do, Mick. You care about everything. You rip the conference office nonstop. You rip the schedule makers. You rip the media staff. Are you raising your voice at me? Oh, stop it. Good grief. Is he ever happy? I mean, actually, it was a great question because he got a great response.
Well, I assume it's a media guy, a reporter, not some fan dude. He feels insulted.
Yeah, he did.
So he's not going to respond. Gee, thanks. He's going to respond in kind to the end. You insulted him, whether you raise your voice or not. So if he would have calmed down, if he would have been in a completely whisper, would it have made it better? He felt insulted, and he's a human being. I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing.
It's nothing, but it's just there's something with Mick Cronin every week.
And they're going back and forth on, these Pac-12 teams on these away travelings, which are, they're obviously a long way to go. And one of the basketball dudes who makes his living off of essentially now tweeting about college basketball, one of those gurus, I can't remember, Rothstein or somebody, said that these Pac-12 teams who are now in the Big Ten will never win.
There's John Rothstein.
A regular season title because their records have sucked. But what's interesting is it's not affecting the women's teams.
UCLA is dominant.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get a 1 seed, and it's not just them. Well, what's the difference?
More separation at the top of women's basketball, where there's more parity than there used to be.
Okay, but that has nothing to
parity.
do with travel, though.
You have enough of a talent gap, you can overcome the travel. I mean,
clearly they do. I don't know if the travel is an issue, though, but that would be the one theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, both LA teams
UCLA
are usually really good.
Really
now, with Watkins,
right
she's hurt, so she's not playing for SC this year. But this Betts gal, they got Jaime Hawkins' sister. They got Neepkins, who played at Utah, who transferred down there. And that's a lot of talent. I understand that. But it's interesting that the men suck when they not just, but the talent gap, they're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
They're not even coming close to winning.
If you have the best team in the league by a wide margin, maybe you can overcome that and that.
But maybe it's not that big of a deal either.
Right, because I was about to go to other leagues because this isn't the only league now where there's a lot of, Arizona has to travel a lot, and they've been really good. Now, they have been beaten on the road, and I don't know that they're going to win the league, but they're awful close to the top.
They've only lost one road game.
Right. Right, and it's going to go with Houston right down to the end here, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
So there's probably a little
phenomenon.
bit that the West Coast teams aren't at their best right now, and then the travel hurts them even more.
I don't know. And why aren't I? Why aren't
Do you
they
like
better?
the court storming with the Devils?
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, they got into it. They got down there. They were pumped beating Texas Tech. 72-67 in Tempe.
200 people, 200 students.
I didn't check the attendance.
I did not watch the game, as I said.
I just saw a clip of it. Utah's at West Virginia tonight at 6:30. That's on FS1. BYU's at Arizona at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Utah State hosts Boise State at 8:30 on FS1. Right after the Utah game is done, Utah State takes over. Scotty G will have the pregame show at 8 o'clock here on The Zone. Boise State's been a bit of a wild card this year. Utah State went up to Idaho and got them pretty good. Now, the Broncos.
That's because they gave free tickets or something to the students, and they all drove up there, right? Wasn't
And then they tried to pull them back, and yeah. What do you mean you want to come up to? Well, you said free tickets for students. Well, that Boise State only. Well, you didn't say that originally.
I know that was funny. The classic Aggies. They're probably going to run up the score again, and Rose there, the Boise State coach, going to pitch a fit, and come on, like Penny Hardaway did. Obviously, I'm kidding about running up the score.
They are all alone in first place right now because Grand Canyon went to San Diego State and beat the Aztecs and gave them their third loss, 73-63. So the Aggies sitting all alone atop the Mountain West right now with 2 losses. The Aztecs sitting on 3 losses now. DJ and PK.
#NFL.
Longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans, the franchise's all-time leading scorer, plans to play a 13th NFL season this fall. Who he will play with, to be determined. He missed 10 games last year, had a broken clavicle and a hamstring injury. He will entertain remaining with Tampa if a deal can be struck, but there's a chance Mike Evans could be on the move.
Yeah, I think he'd be a Hall of Famer, right?
I would think so.
You know who his college quarterback was?
I do not.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, really? There you go. Yeah, Mike Evans has been awesome for a long period
Big
of time.
dude.
Yeah. Big guy, and he will go and get the ball and make his quarterback look good. DJ and PK.
#college football.
Michigan lost the commitment of a 4-star quarterback prospect. Peter Borke yesterday. He was considered to be a top 10 prospect in the 2027 class and a top 150 overall player. He had committed to Sharon Moore, and now he's not going to Michigan.
Well, I don't blame him.
Kyle's got his guy, and he wasn't going to play right away, so go somewhere where he can play right away.
For Whittingham.
Okay.
I was listening to your boy yesterday driving home. Your no-state taxes, as every free agent signs with the L.A. or Northern California teams. What's his face? The Herd. And he had on Urban. Oh, I talked to Kyle. Oh, man, these guys are hungry. He's excited. Did Kyle ever coach a team that isn't hungry?
And excited.
Here's the bottom line on all this. Utah pissed him off.
Yes, big time.
And he's ready to stick it to him.
Yes.
The world.
Yeah.
In my limited conversations with him since he's gone.
Yes. He can't wait to win big and have somebody up on the hill sit there and look at him.
Now, I'm not saying what they did was wrong. I'm just saying the way he did it.
Kyle's mad.
Yeah.
Kyle is mad.
Yeah.
And it's not just him. It's the other Whittinghams.
Oh, his mother.
There have been Whittinghams talking out in the community.
His grandchild that was just born a couple of months ago.
Furious!
Oh,
livid.
man.
Really doesn't even have words to express.
He's got hand expression.
How livid. Oh, yeah.
Just crapping and crying the whole time, man.
What am I doing there? What do you got for Mountain West news there, Yak?
So Northern Illinois is supposed to be joining the Mountain West this coming season. They have just lost their head coach. Thomas Hammock is leaving to join the Seattle Seahawks in an administrative role. They're going to elevate their defensive coordinator to be the interim head coach for their first season in the MWC.
There you go.
I seen that.
DJ and PK.
#Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball Executive Director Tony Clark resigned after an internal investigation revealed an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, who was hired by the union in 2023. Tony Clark is out.
So yesterday you're all excited because of the high school connection. I haven't heard you mention it.
Valhalla High! What up?
That's Valhalla Low.
Yeah, well, sister-in-law, huh? Tony. This is how the Norsemen roll, huh?
Now, Michael told Fredo, and Vito told Sonny, don't ever go outside the family. But we didn't mean like
what they meant.
Not with the major league.
That was not what we were getting at.
I'm with the MLBPA here. Come on.
Right.
Vito was talking about business. What do you... Well, never mind. We know what you're doing. Don't explain it. We got to figure it out. Walker Buehler has joined the Padres after 8 seasons in L.A. He's on a minor league deal with an invite to spring training in an attempt to make the Padres roster. Think he's got anything left?
I don't know, but for a while there, he looked like he was going to be a superstar. He rose to the top, and then he had an injury, and just almost as quickly was gone. He was their ace for a bit.
He was awesome, on fire, but injuries and pitchers, right? They come and they go.
You just don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, look at their pitching coach, too, Pryor for the Dodgers. Same thing. Him and Kerry Wood for the Cubs looked like they were going to be Schilling and Johnson for a bit, and injuries took that down.
DJ and PK. Team USA men's hockey will face Sweden today. Sweden rolling through their matchup yesterday. So it's now USA and Sweden in the men's hockey quarterfinals. 1 o'clock today. Is that 1 o'clock Mountain Time?
Yeah, 1:10 Mountain Time. Yeah. By the way, Michaela Schifrin just won another gold medal in giant slalom. So she's now the most decorated alpine skier in U.S. Olympic history.
She's from Alpine?
No, she's not from Alpine.
Oh.
Alpine skiing.
JJ Peterka, Utah Mammoth, all done. He's on his way. He's on his way home here shortly. Germany just lost to Slovakia this morning, 6-2, in the first of the men's quarterfinals. So,
well, if he's on his way home, what was he playing for the German team for?
That doesn't even make sense. Coming back to Utah. They're all done in the Olympics.
Still got another week to go, right?
It all wraps up Sunday.
A week from tonight?
No, it wraps up Sunday.
No. Before the NHL starts.
Oh.
Yeah, we're a week out.
Yeah. Yes.
Restart.
It is 1 week to the next Utah Mammoth game. You're right. Yes, 1 week from tonight, the Mammoth play. DJ and PK, that's what's trending. It's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, the big game tonight, BYU and Arizona. Tim Lacombe at 8:30 talking Cougar basketball. Bruce Pascoe joins us at 9 o'clock. Arizona Wildcats basketball beat writer for the Arizona Daily Star. How healthy are the Wildcats? We know there's health issues with BYU. We will talk with Bruce coming up at 9 o'clock. It's Win Tickets Wednesday. We got tickets to see Post Malone with Jelly Roll and Carter Faith at Rice-Eccles Stadium July 28th. We will give those tickets away coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Stick around for that. The question of the day is next.
This is JJ and Alex.
I got this. I want you to go off a little bit more about how the rebuild is over. A trade like this hits harder when your team has come as far as the Jazz have come, and especially County George.
What the Jazz did today was take a huge leap forward to the point of not only is the rebuild over, this is who we are. We have potentially 3 All-Stars in our starting lineup with young players who have the potential to also become All-Stars, Ace Bailey and whoever they're going to take in this upcoming draft.
Right.
We're not only going to compete and try to make the playoffs next year, we're going to be a force. Take us seriously now. We have a lineup that you must take seriously. We're going to compete at a high level moving forward, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff and all this pain. The pain is gone. Now you're going to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This team's going to be really, really good next year as long as they stay healthy.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The KSL Sports Zone and BI Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the BI Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the BI Meals Hero of the Week. Question of the morning, PK. It sits right in front of us. If BYU upsets Arizona, where would it rank for best regular season wins in program history? Tony, the biggest. They'd have to play a perfect game and play defense to keep the game in the 60s to have any chance. Tony doesn't think it's happening, but taking down number 4 in a road game,
Well, especially right now after the loss of Richie Saunders and just the emotional loss of what Richie Saunders represents to the BYU basketball program. The little Zoom thing that he did yesterday went on for about 12, 13 minutes, and I always try to get on, and I asked a question about the reserves. And so someone asked a question, obviously the first question was about Saunders, whatever, and he says, well, I need to address this. I'm going to address this either way. And he goes in that basically, and there's foundation pieces when a coach takes a job. Steve Cleveland, a guy like Mark Bigelow, Kelly Wesley, Travis Hansen, those guys who built up the program. Now, he had it. Steve had it, an enormous rebuild. Kevin Young didn't have to that. Mark Pope didn't leave it in the shape that Coach Cleveland had, right? But there's foundation guys, and they're your first guys. And so Kevin Young said, this is the guy who got the Kevin Young era going. And he's right. And especially now, and none of us care what religion they are right now. I don't think so. But, I mean, tonight might be the first time in the history of the program they do not play an LDS guy. Again, nobody cares. It's just an oddity for an LDS school that has been like 95% of the guys used to be.
I think some people care.
Well, if they win and they keep keep the standards, who cares? I don't. Some people do, I'm sure, but certainly we don't. But that's another a rung. And staying there the entire time, start to finish, without transferring. So the emotional blow of his departure and injury, I could argue, comes close to equating the talent loss. Because this is a severe blow to have somebody who really, really represents what BYU is all about now done, right? And they're going to have to get over that. So you factor that in going into Tucson, which has been a legendary program now since the 80s, since Lute Olson. I can remember.
It's now 40 plus years.
40 years. There you go.
It's over 40.
Lute Olson with one of the greatest quotes. I'm living down there working, and he says to the people of Tucson, you better get your tickets now because in a year or two they're going to be really tough to come by. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the essence of the quote, and he was right. I mean, he called it, boom, and he built the powerhouse, and that's, Lute Olson, a guy like Sean Elliott would be his guy, Tucson guy, and who stayed. A lot of those guys, like Fat Lever, was an NBA player, a Tucson guy, went up to Tempe. They don't do that anymore. They all go down. Cole Pete, who's not playing tonight, is going to be an NBA player, Phoenix guy. You go south. That's the way it is there. Richard Jefferson. The list goes on and on. Mike Bibby. I can name 20 other guys, right? So to get this and what they're trying to accomplish, yeah, it has to rank right up there. We know that the Cougs went up to Spokane when they were undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Duran's right there. I'd say just behind the 2020 game when we whooped on Gonzaga, and they were number one in the country with only one loss.
Right.
So this would be, in his mind, the second best win in program
But I
history.
think this is bigger because BYU basketball is bigger. And BYU at that time, that was a shock the world kind of thing. I understand that. But it wasn't like they had a lot of attention. This is a program that had Final Four aspirations, and now everybody has reduced them. Well, will they even get to the Sweet 16? Probably not. You just said, I think they have a 50-50 chance. You said I was being generous.
I think you are.
Right. So you're right there.
Yeah.
You lowered expectations
100%.
significantly.
Yep.
I'm lowering them because I thought before it would have been about 80, 90%. But I still think it's 50-50.
The thing we haven't talked about much, and we'll get to this and it'll play out and become a little more obvious, is the committee has a history of when there's a major injury, looking at the team's record from that point forward. I think they could be doing it with North Carolina. I think they'll be doing it with BYU. And so if BYU is 4-4, are they going to look at BYU? I don't know what the math would be on yet. Are they going to look at if BYU's 23-7? Are they going to look at that, or are they going to say, no, they're 4-4 since Saunders is out? Now, I think what you said yesterday carries weight. Hey, everybody's going to want DeBonsa in the tournament. Are you crazy? And plus, there'll be a recognition that in any one game, DeBonsa can go nuts and win it. If the guy puts up 40 and they upset somebody, well, we all know how that's happened. A best player
and
takes
Rob Wright
over.
puts up 20, 25, 30.
Right, exactly. So it's not impossible, but when we're sitting here thinking, are they a 5 or a 6 seed? Well, if they don't, to what we were talking about in the last game, if they don't get an Iowa State when Iowa State comes in, or if they don't get a Texas Tech when Tech comes in, then how much are they going to get punished? I think we saw that the.
I think I don't know they'll be punished. I think they'll be rewarded accordingly.
With a 5 seed or 6 or 7.
Well,
or
I
8.
have to see what they do.
Okay. Yeah.
I think a 4 is still in play if they kick butt down the stretch. I got to admit, listening to Kevin Young yesterday had me fired up. And because he made me look good. I'll tell you right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
How did Kevin Young make you look good?
Because I said they've miscast Kennard Davis as a stand in the corner three-point shooter.
Yeah.
And Kevin Young said, I've done him a disservice. That's a quote.
Right.
And I thought, I know ball.
Nice. Yeah.
That's not who this kid is. But yet with the other 3 guys, he had no room to operate.
Exactly.
Now he's going to have room to operate. So we will see will the real Kennard Davis please stand?
Will the real Kennard Davis please take the ball to the hoop?
Yes, that's what he's talking about. And so I'm fired up to see what this kid can do now. He's going to be Kevin Young said he's unlocked.
For a guy that loves to use nicknames, you don't call him Moo a lot.
Well, it's not his nickname.
It's not my bingo.
It's not his nickname. It has to be his nickname.
I'm just saying.
He came up with J-Slow, so he used J-Slow.
Well, maybe Moodah.
Moo Davis.
D.A.?
You got it.
Moodah?
Okay.
I don't know. Kennard Davis.
I think that as the 4th guy, we all remember when Chris Bosh was talking about how hard it was to be the 3rd guy with the Heat, with Wade and LeBron, and to figure out, like, you got to have an impact on the game, but you also got to make sure the big guy gets the ball. When you're the 4th guy, you just got to move the ball and take the occasional open shot. And so Kennard Davis Jr. is going from a spot where stand in the corner, hit the occasional wide open shot, but move the ball, and he's done that, but now DeBonce is on the other side of the court, and he's doubled or they're helped, so it's essentially a double. They throw the ball to you, and you got one guy running you to close out. If you got time, you hit the 3.
Okay.
You
now
blow by him.
Don't try to.
Take
I see
over.
what you're doing here. You're trying to supersede me because I'm not a basketball guy, and I got one right. Now you're throwing like 14 jargons of basketball in that one thought to one up me. Isn't it, Yak? Isn't it clear?
First off,
you just did.
First off,
dribble, drive, penetrate. You're diving. You're flashing. You're showing. You're doing all these things. I'm trying to catch up, and I'm 20 little conveyor belt chocolates behind.
Okay, first off, that's an excellent reference.
First of all,
that scene of I Love Lucy is an all-timer. Go look at it on YouTube right now. It's hilarious, out of context with no episode. However, first off, you are wrong when you said
I'm
not
wrong.
Yeah, when you said I'm not a basketball guy. You are too.
Not compared to you.
You make good points all the time.
Not compared to you. You're an expert.
Stop.
No, I will not stop.
Stop.
I will raise my voice. I will not stop.
Well, I'm Mick Cronin. I'm about to get angry.
He should have said to Cronin, "You want a piece of me, Mick? Let's go." Cut me, Mick.
I raised my voice because you're a bleep in all of these interview sessions. Could you just be normal for once?
Cut
like
me, Mick.
300 other coaches out here.
A classic line. Cut me, Mick.
That would have been cool.
And he didn't do it.
For all the positivity, there's just a lot of doubt. Gordon, this is all a big if with Saunders out. If BYU upsets Arizona, a big if with Saunders out. But we got to talk with Bruce Pascoe here at 9:00 and find out how many Wildcats are out for this game.
Well, they listed 2 on their injury spiel.
Yeah, Koa Pete and Aristide.
Yeah.
They're both rotation guys. They play 8 men, so they're down to 6 rotation guys.
Right, and Pete is.
But do they have someone?
Pete hit enormous shots here in pro.
Do they have someone ready?
Did you go to that game?
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
do they have someone ready to step up the way we're talking about Kennard Davis?
That's what we need to find out from
Bruce Pascoe.
I'm not as intimately familiar with their team, obviously.
So good to have a beat writer on at 9:00 to answer these
I'm
questions.
fairly familiar with their team, but not to that degree. Yeah. I don't know because I only know the guys who play. I'm not there at practice, and I don't talk to
Bruce Pascoe on a regular basis.
Tommy Lloyd. But Tim Lacombe does, and so he'll have an idea at the bottom of the hour coming up. Because they have a connection. I have spoken to Lloyd in the past, particularly when it was at Gonzaga. So we'll see. And I go back in these situations to Coach Cleveland's first year. He takes a group of ragtag guys into the pit, and they had won something like 41 games in a row at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really good. And the Cougars, to my shocking amazement, won that game.
So you never really know.
That game, I've covered, how many college basketball games have I literally covered courtside or in the arena over all these years? I couldn't even begin to count. And
my
game,
guess right off the top was 30 games a year times 20 years would be 600.
Yeah.
And then a handful sprinkled in around that. So I'm not.
Right, and I was a utility guy a little bit down in California.
So I was about to say,
I did some SC
if you
games.
went to LMU when they were good.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
So if you're at 750, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. And regular season games, no. But that game stands out to me. I covered all of Van Horn's games. There's like maybe 2 in a regular season that I can remember. And it was right at the end. And, I can remember tournament with the Van Horn at the buzzer, obviously, and then and the NCAAs and stuff. But I'm talking a regular season game. And the Cougars, who were nowhere near the class of the Lobos at that time, won that game.
That's funny you said that because I just tried to think of those games, and what came to mind with all the wins is 3 losses. I remember Andre Miller getting mugged in the backcourt and turning the ball over in the pit, and no call to my total and complete
Sunday afternoon. Van Horn wasn't on that team.
Total and complete amazement. Was that the team that went to the?
They went to
game?
Final Four,
yeah.
and
okay, there was a chaotic loss in
I sucked
Wyoming.
so bad they took me off the beat that year.
Yeah,
although I got back on in the tournament.
There was a chaotic loss in Wyoming, and Josh Davis cuts down the nets afterwards, and it's bedlam, and the place is the AA is full.
The guy was nude in the barrel. He lifted the barrel.
And Fresno State.
He was excited.
A rare home loss for the Utes. Fresno State hits a shot at the buzzer, and the dude tackles Tark on the floor, and I thought he broke his hip. Tark was down for a while.
And I was right there. He was right to my left. And it was a big Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And all the guys at Daily Breeze were watching the game, and they saw the look on my face because I had to send the story immediately as it ended, and I had to rewrite it, and I had sheer panic and terror. And they were watching, and I think his name was like Danny Young or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You little dude, small dude.
He was a little
guy.
Yeah. And it's funny, they won so many games, but you're right, the wins just all blend together.
Right.
The number of teams that they beat by 17 at the Huntsman Center goes on and on.
I'm going to be pulling my butt off for the Cougars tonight. Or
DJ
rooting
PK.
my butt off, I should say.
Tim Lacombe, 8:30. We'll talk with him. Jazz analyst for SCG Media, former BYU assistant coach. More on the game coming up at 8:30 with him. Stay with us. DJ PK brought to you in part by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
That's ironic because I think it's in basketball for the Cougars. Their DNA, hope. I got hope.
How much hope do you have tonight?
After listening to Kevin Young, more than I did before I listened to him.
They're ready to come out and shock the world.
Now, even with Richie Saunders, I wouldn't favor them, so that really hasn't changed.
Right. And Arizona's favored by 12.5.
And I think that we've seen this a million times, that in a singular game basis, things happen. I just brought up the Cougars and Coach Cleveland's first year beating New Mexico, which is a really good team, had a 40-plus game winning streak. And they played that game 10 times. That might be the only time that the Cougars actually won that game. But they're only playing it once tonight.
And if they play 20 times, it might be the only time the Cougars won that game. Bad teams don't go in and beat good teams on their home court.
Did you have to one-up me again?
Yes, I did.
Suck.
I did.
It's a good thing I have no ego and I'm so dang humble.
I think the reason you made it the most shocking game you've seen out of 750 is because it wasn't even a 1 out of 10. That was a 1 out of 20 or 30 or 40. Usually I push back because you've even admitted you can be a prisoner of the moment. This is the biggest thing. But that thing in Albuquerque, that was crazy. It was a huge league at that point. A bottom 4 team beat a top 4 team. It actually got them out of the bottom 4.
I leaped into Dave Rose's arms. He carried me up that tunnel.
If you don't know about the tunnel, go watch Scotty's walk and talk going down the tunnel. I noticed he didn't do the walk and talk going up the tunnel.
They need a ski lift.
They did.
An escalator.
That is, I've never been to the pit. I've never been to Albuquerque, but I know a bunch of people who have been, and every one of you says the same thing about that tunnel.
Dave Rose experienced the highs and lows in that furry building. Houston losing to NC State and Thurl, and then Dave and Coach Cleveland was their first year. Yeah, and that was so wild. And so, there is a form of, in sports, anything can happen, but I think the thing that applies to it most is college basketball, because you look at, the Cinderella, the term, I think, was attached to college basketball in the NCAA tournament, right? How many times have we seen a no-name upset a big dog? Go football. How many times have we seen an Appalachian State beat Michigan? It's happened so rare that we can name them.
Right. But in basketball, this happens.
Right.
There's a shocker in the NCAA tournament every year. How did that happen? I mean, we could list 10 schools. Who
was the one up in Boise? Was it Hampton? Craig Bojack was calling the game.
They beat a really good K-State team, and the player.
I want to say it was Iowa State.
Oh, was it Iowa State?
Stacy.
Oh, and he picks the coach up in the air. Well, Bowler got 4 shockers that day. K-State probably lost to somebody else.
Right.
You're probably right.
But and they carried the guy up, and he was a little dude, like a Jeff Van Gundy type size.
Chaminade beat Ralph Sampson and the number 1 pick in the draft in Virginia. Crazy things happen all over the place.
Most especially in this sport.
Yeah.
I'm really just intrigued to see what these guys do. Because now they have, and Kevin Young talked about it, this is where I thrive. He's been a kind of a back against the wall little dude. Gets to the NBA and could have likely had an NBA head coaching job. So, and he talked about with his wife, he was volunteering in the beginning to get his foot in the door, blah, blah, blah. So he had nobody. It's not like Bickerstaff, the Denver guy. He's an Adelman, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And the list goes on and on of sons. And he replaces Malone, whose father was an NBA coach, right?
There's tons of examples.
And we see that in the NFL, Shanahan, McVay.
Shanahan's really good, but his dad was in the NFL.
Right.
And McVay's really good.
We're not taking away,
his dad was in the
door
NFL.
Was flung wide open. The door wasn't flung wide open for Kevin Young.
There is something to be said for energy and enthusiasm, and the only positive little tiny silver lining in the otherwise dark cloud of a season-ending injury is that it becomes much harder to scout you. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, they don't really know who's going to play. What are these guys' tendencies? What are their now? In a few weeks, whoever emerges will be better scouted. But as far as having a little element of surprise, they have it. And if the whole team plays with more energy, I mean, we had people commenting on it this morning. Like, they've got to defend better. They could have beaten Arizona at home, and they lost 86-83. It's just like, if you're going to give up 86 points, you're probably going to get beat. You got to play a little bit of defense. And it's still a make-or-miss game. Sometimes contested shots go in. You just got to live with that. But it's just around the margins. Do you get one stop every 10 minutes that you weren't going to get? Because that's 8 points over the course of a game. And with 3-point shots, maybe it's 9 or 10. That could be the difference in the game.
I agree.
So maybe him coming out with his fire and the energy and enthusiasm, and we both played on teams where you play a little and then you play a lot. When you suddenly realize you're going to get to play, you're going to be coming with all kinds of energy.
Oh, if I'm Boscovich, man, I'm jacking him up left and right. Take me out, buddy.
Yeah, and if they start going in, that's how upsets happen.
Well, that's the way you're going to be able to score, is have them shoot and have them go in. Yeah. I'm excited for this game, see what these guys can do.
DJ and PK, more with Tim Lacombe at 8:30, and Bruce Pascoe covers the Wildcats at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.